Alright, so Moon Knight episode 2. As I said last week in my episode 1 review, I really hoped this show would push on from what was very well set up in the first episode. And episode 2 really did. This was captivating from start to finish. This episode almost felt longer than it was. It was about 50 minutes or, just a bit under that. And it felt longer because it managed to fit so much in, introduce all these new characters, which just shows how well paced it was. And Oscar Isaac just continues to be so gripping. He just nails it once again. He's so fascinating to watch on screen because he's so chaotic, but that's what makes him so fascinating. And on top of that, in this episode we get to see more of his alternative self, which is Mark Spector. I mean, the story is still quite a mystery here, Egyptian gods that are controlling people, invisible enemies, and then you've got Ethan Hawke's character of Arthur, who is trying to resurrect a cruel god so that he can complete what he thinks is the right thing to do. Honestly, it can be hard to get your head around. You really do have to listen in this show, and in this episode in particular, sometimes because I'm just not great with attention span at times, I might check my phone for a second, check a message, and then I realise I really should have been listening to what's just happened in the scene because it is all crucial information. But even though I am slightly confused watching it about what is really going on, what the bigger picture is, I'm still really fascinated by it, and I think it's the fact that it is confusing because you want to pay attention, because you want to learn more, you want to know more. I want to know the big mystery, the deep thing that's really happening in this show. Why is it happening to this character that we're following? What does it all mean? I mean, Stephen talking to Mark, throughout this episode really must hammer home how crazy it must be to be this guy. You would really lose your shit if this was happening to you. And that was so fascinating. Obviously it's the same person, but it really does feel like two characters because Oscar Isaac just acts them both so well. And I'm really enjoying actually all the secondary characters that we're meeting in this show, such as Mark's wife or Arthur. I think they're very interesting. They actually bring a good dynamic when they're interacting with Stephen or Mark. And the fight scenes in this are pretty cool as well. It's mostly because I just love the suit. The suit is so dope. Even when Stephen puts on the suit and it's like an actual three-piece white suit, that looked really clean. But then of course that original actual suit is just like a thing of beauty. It looks so good on screen and I really want to see more of it. Of course, in this episode we actually learn the significance of the scarab. It is like a compass. It will lead Arthur to a long lost dead god that he wants to resurrect. Now Mark's role under the control of Khonshu is to stop this happening because he believes it is the wrong thing to do, or Khonshu at least believes it's the wrong thing to do, but Khonshu is also applying the pressure on Mark to get it done. So now we're quite well poised, we're quite well set up. Obviously Arthur has a scarab, Mark / Stephen / Moon Knight, they need to get it back. The fact that this is set in the MCU honestly feels so crazy because it feels so alien, so to speak, even though the MCU obviously has aliens, but this feels like just very different. It honestly feels like an Avenger would be useless in this fight. It feels like they would just not have a clue what to do and how to do it. This feels like a very intense, personal thing that's only relevant to those that know what it means. Honestly, this episode really impressed me. I thought the humor was good. It wasn't too forced or too cheesy like it is in a lot of MCU stuff. I thought the soundtrack was good. I thought the writing was good. I thought everything was good. And, this show is really impressing me so far. I hope it can maintain this quality along the, next 4 episodes and just, for the season as a whole, because none of the prior MCU shows have done that. They've always sort of stuttered at some point, whether it be at the start, the middle, or the finish. But this I really like. I really like Oscar Isaac in this. He's so good. He seems like perfect casting for this, and I hope they can maintain this quality and take it all the way to the last episode, because it would be a really great show if it did that. I would give today's episode of Moon Knight a 9 out of 10. It was solid. It was very good. I really enjoyed it, and if it carries on this way, we're in for a treat. Either way, I've been Joe Squared. If you've seen this episode of Moon Knight, please let me know what you think about it, and yeah, I will see you next week for more Moon Knight and in whatever videos I do in between. See you in the next one. Bye bye.